episode is brought to you by Surfshark. Surfshark is a VPN that helps secure your data online among many other things. Surfshark offers services to allow you to connect to popular websites. You can still get amazing deals on websites like Amazon and AliExpress, even if they're blocked in your country or when you're traveling. Speaking of traveling, if you often work at cafes or in hotels where the internet isn't secure, Surfshark will keep you safe by encrypting your online data. Jess and I often take our work with us when we go away. We take our laptops, so knowing that our online data is secure is important to us. They also have add-on security combos like alerts. Alerts can help you monitor your personal data, check for potential breaches, get real-time breach alerts, and protect your identity. And they allow unlimited devices on one account. Surfshark offer a lot of great features, so go check them out and see what they can do for you. And if you click the link in my description before the 31st of December, so what, less than 2 months, Surfshark are offering a holiday discount of 85% off. 85%, that's a lot. And 3 extra months for free. Bit of a no-brainer. So thank you to Surfshark for sponsoring the video. Check this out, by the way. I bought a new skateboard. Nelson. All right, should we get on with the episode? I've got a beam to get ready for. So we're leveling this ceiling. We're kind of just propping it at this point though. We're gonna level it once we have the beam in, and then we can move things up and down. Now the way we move things up and down is we make these studs 10 mil shorter than they need to be. And then with these wedges, you just put it under one side like this. So making the studs shorter has given you that gap so you can start the wedges off. And then you put another wedge on the other side. And then lock the wedges in. And we use these square head screws rather than nails, just so it's easy to pull apart. One thing that I found surprising in the UK, the guys I was working with anyway, on their permanent walls, they would use screws to assemble the wall. They wouldn't use nail guns. I was quite surprised by that. Let's check out a side-on view of what's happening. If you can imagine being in the front yard looking through the living room towards ultimately the bedrooms, which would be these back walls. This is our new footing here. This is the old fireplace, and we've got 1, 2, 3 posts before we hit the concrete balcony that is sort of underneath that timber floor. And this is the location of the new beam. So it's a couple of meters in from that front wall. Right now all that weight's coming onto an old beam that is pretty much the same location as the new beam. Hey Ray.
Hi.
It's a new day.
Is it?
Yeah.
Felt like I never left. What are we doing, Scott?
We're getting rid of the beautiful pelmet. They have a function though, right, these things?
Yeah. Do you want to hear about it?
Yes, please.
If your curtain is too short and you get hot air inside the room and cold window, you get this sort of circulation of air. And when your curtain rail is hard up to the ceiling or tucked under a pelmet, then it stops that circulation and you're actually not cooling down your room.
Yeah. But we're going to rip it out.
Yeah, let's just get rid of it.
Our main reason for getting access to this is so we can fix bracing to the actual timber structure. So we've got our barrier up there, and in between the two wall frames that we've formed is where the beam goes. Now, one thing I've been trying to figure out over the last few weeks is the beam. Turns out getting a big LVL beam is hard work. We thought we'd have one arrive by early November, but that hasn't happened. And I'm trying to scramble and find a different source for a different beam. It needs to be 8.5 meters long, 450 mil high, 2 times 63 mil thick. So it's pretty chunky. So I guess we'll just have to see what happens. They're insulated between the rooms. I'm surprised. Bye, Ray!
Doei!
Did I say it right?
Yeah, that sounded alright.
Doei.
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 Is that right? Doei.
See ya.
See you next time. Alright, we nearly propped everything up. We just got to prop up this problem room, and then these studs can come out, and then it's all about clearing the area for the beam. So it just so happens that the joists overlap each other, the ceiling joists, right where the existing beam is.
Look at this side. The old struts, they're actually, some of them are not even sitting on the
beam.
They just sort of nailed to the side, so the weight of the roof sits on the nails, not on any timber.
Oh, just shear strength of the nails.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're gonna improve that quite a bit.
That beam goes from this wall, and then you can see the other end of it here. Look how many nails there are. Holy moly.
Ooh, you're doing it that way.
Whoa! Woo! Well, nothing's falling yet.
It's experimenting, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we need to get that beam up off the ceiling joist, but then nailed to the ceiling joist, which makes it a bit difficult. So we're going to try something.
To the midpoint.
Yeah. Don't need to go to the gym this week, Ray. God damn. Alright, you ready? Yep. Nice. Boom! There you go.
Bob's your uncle.
New beam goes here. So at each end of the beam, we have to have a triple stud. And they have to transfer down to the foundation that we did. This post here. This post here with all that extra concrete that we put in. So it looks like we actually need to move the support that way a little bit. We'll go check the other side. Yeah, needs to move over. So the easy thing to assume would be just put your triple studs back in the same spot. But the only reason there's a couple of studs here is because that used to be the corner of the house. It's not necessarily on the foundation. Basically the center here. We've got to a point where we've established our studs. We know roughly where that one's going. That supports one end of the beam. At the other end, we've created some carnage. This here is where the other stud goes. Triple stud, I should say. And that's the other end of the beam. Coming through. So we're on the home stretch now, right? Oh yeah, like, yeah, it's all downhill from here, in a good way. How do you say it? Stroopwafel? Stroopwafel?
Try again.
Stroopwafel?
Stroop.
Oh, there's no way I'm saying that.
Stroopwafel.
Stroopwafel.
Ooh, nice. Stroopwafel.
Stroopwafel. I got some work to do.
You pronounce it like a South African.
Just when you think you've solved all the problems. My big problem behind the scenes of this episode has been getting the beam. Turns out getting an 8.4 meter long beam, two of them, is tricky. But I secured it, I figured that out. That was a problem I've solved and I was very happy. All of this stuff here is the easy part. Or so I thought. We found something funky at this end. So if you didn't know already, this house has been extended before. From about this point onwards. And we knew that it was onto a balcony, concrete balcony. That's fine, right? But we didn't know about this. This point right here is the point that we'd love our beam to land on. But if you look at this, that there is just a little block wall. That's our bearer. But our joists, they just end here. That's the joists there. And right here is the foundation that we beefed up. So our double joist is ending. So that means our triple stud that needs to support the beam has nowhere to go. Now the thing we didn't expect is where this bottom plate is in the extension. The bottom plate is about 200 mil down there, and there's a reason for that. Here, as it turns out, used to be concrete stairs. So under there is a concrete stair going through all the way. So our studs can't go to the foundation because the foundation's over there and this is lower than the foundation. So what do, right? You move your triple stud over. It only needs to move over 100 mil, not much. But if you move it over at that end, you need to move it over at the other end. And of course, the other end here is a doorway. If we go that way, we have a skinny doorway. And we don't want to go any skinnier than this. This is one stud and there's going to be two here. So we've got to come up with a solution if we're going to get this beam in. The beam's arriving in a matter of days. And we need to make sure it has something solid to sit on. And we also need to make sure the position's correct before we cut all these ceiling joists. I'm thinking of doing something that I would never do because it goes against all my building instincts. And that is put it out of square. Wait, I've put this out of level. Put this beam out of square. Move this end in towards the existing kitchen and keep that end where it is. So over 8 meters, it might be 100, 140 millimeters out of square, out of parallel from the house. I think it's a good idea. It was Ray's idea. And we talked about it with the architect, we talked about it with the engineer. The engineer doesn't care, he's happy with it. Doesn't jeopardize the strength of the beam and the support and everything below the beam. Okay. It just doesn't feel right. But it's the best solution. Otherwise we're looking at redoing foundations or replacing where the door is in that room, and that will kind of throw that whole room off. It's the best solution. It just doesn't feel right. But it is the best solution. I really didn't expect stairs to be down there. So this is one of those things that come up in renovations, right? And it's no one's fault. You know, the architect can only design based on the information they have, the engineer, the same. That's what happens when you don't know. You have to discover it and come up with solutions while you're doing it. So it's handy that I'm the builder and the client, because I can just say yes, that's what we're doing. So that's what we're doing in the next exciting episode. And we're going to install the beam. Oh my god, I can't wait. Scott Brown here. Scott Brown here. Scott Brown here.
Again, you can do cooler than that.
Scott Brown here. Oh. Scott Brown here. Welcome.